How's it going, everyone? It is Prashaun here, and we have the newest card in Marvel Snap, and that is Ezekiel Sims. He's a 2/2, and he reads, after you play this card with higher power here, give this +2 power and move this to another location. So this is another key piece to those decks where you don't want to play Iron Fist or Ghost Spider or Doctor Strange, where cards basically move on their own, almost like a Silk, but there's a condition, right? You have to play a card with a higher power. So I have a deck for you, and it pretty much has the highest winning percentage so far for any Ezekiel Sims deck. So we're going to give it a test out on day one, and we're going to go over the deck and then play some games. So let's get into the deck. And as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're rocking and rolling. I think I've gotten a lot of new subs lately, and I've been consistent lately. You guys are giving me the fuel that I need to keep on going with this content. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. I do have some giveaways going on, so make sure you check out my new variants video. I do have a season pass or a PAX code to give out. Your choice. Only thing you have to do is comment on that video. So let's go into the deck. We have Ezekiel day 0. So this has been less than 24 hours, so a lot could change, and I could post more decks on this card if you guys really like this card. So we have Batroc, Ezekiel Sims, Captain America, Kraven, Spider-Man, Silk, Hydra Stomper, Spider-Punk, Hercules, Miles, Vision, and Heimdall. So we have a few cards here that can move on their own without any other help, right? So going into Batroc, as long as you move a card around, it will follow it. And you have many cards that can move around on their own. So Ezekiel Sims is one of them, but the condition is you have to play something with bigger power. But throughout the game, you're going to scale, right? So you do have a card like Kraven. You can put Kraven on top of Ezekiel Sims, he'll move. And then you have a card like Hercules. If you play Hercules next, then Ezekiel will move. And then if you play Vision or if you play Heimdall, Ezekiel will move. So you have plenty of cards to scale because the power proportion in this deck is pretty even, right? And then next year you have Captain America Sam Wilson. This is a card where you have the shield and you can just bounce the shield back and forth. You have Batroc to follow the shield. You also have Kraven that also takes advantage too. Every time the shield goes in his lane, he gains power. And you also have Hydra Stomper. Anytime a card moves, then he gains power as well. And like I said before, Kraven, anything that moves in his lane, he gains more power. And there's so many move pieces that could go into his lane, so he could definitely get bigger. Next, we have Spider-Man here. Spider-Man 2/4, something else that could scale up on Ezekiel Sims. And he can move your opponent's card, so that can definitely disrupt what they have going on, or move a lane into your favor. And then we also have Hercules here too, so Hercules can move Spider-Man back to where he was, or move him into another location, just to balance your power across each lane. And then next we have Silk. Silk is another card that basically moves on her own. If you play another card in her location, while she's there first, obviously, she will move. So this is another card that can go well with Ezekiel, because Ezekiel is a 2/2. Silk is a 2/5. You play your Ezekiel Sims, then you play like your Batroc and Silk, and then go on from there, and there you go. And then next year we have Hydra Stomper. Of course, there's so many moving pieces in this deck where basically Hydra Stomper can scale and get pretty big as well. And then we have Spider-Punk, the season pass card. This is a card that you can move on its own without using another piece to move him, and excellent because he steals power from another character, right? And then this is another card, if you play this right on curve, you can play Ezekiel Sims, and then you can play Spider-Punk, because Spider-Punk does have more power. If you're playing this on curve, then Ezekiel will move. And then next here we have Hercules. This is a card that's not played that often, but dust him off because he is pretty good in this deck. Especially if you're playing Hydra Stomper, you get that extra move if you move a card into his lane. And especially if you have Kraven out there too, it could possibly go in that Kraven lane, and Kraven gets even bigger. And then we have Miles Morales. Anytime anything moves, it's nothing sweeter than having a 1/6, especially on the final turn. You could play Miles Morales or Vision on the final turn. You have a 6 power card, and a 9 power card. And then, of course, we have Vision. You can play Vision on 5 if you need to. And then on 10, we have Heimdall, just to move everything, especially if you have Hydra Stomper, Kraven, Ezekiel goes in the right spot, Hercules, all on the board. Some crazy things can happen, and your opponent cannot take account for it. So we're going to play some games with this deck, see how we do, and then check this out for yourself and let me know down in the comments. Is Ezekiel a card that you think is top tier this season? Do you think he's meh, or do you think he's a skip? Let me know. So let's go into these games and let's get some dubs. So we have Spider-Man, Ezekiel Sims, Batroc, and Spider-Punk. So let's go ahead and put down Batroc. And then turn 2, we can put down Ezekiel. Yeah, Mojo World. So let's put down Hercules, and then Ezekiel's gonna do what he does. I think he only, yeah, against 2. But my opponent hasn't played anything. Okay, there we go. Fastos. Interesting. Do I want them to get anything? Like, that's the thing.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
It's interesting how it moved the Batroc before it moved the Spider-Man. I thought the Spider-Man would move, right? Then we have turn 5. What do we do here? We go. Let's do this. Sarah. So is this Surfer? Let's go Spider-Punk. Shield. I have Prio, so let's go Silk, Kraven, or Silk, Hydra Stomper. Hopefully this works out. We'll see what happens here. But I think we got this. I think we got this. I think this is it. Oh, they snap back. Oh my goodness. All right, this is staying in the video regardless. Win or lose, let's go for 8. We got 8 cubes here. So I'm assuming yeah, we lost Mojo World. Because Broodlings are gonna be there, yeah. I knew that. And then Surfer and something else. Luna, Surfer. Barely, we lost by 1. GG's. GG's. Oh my goodness. That was close. That was super close. Alright, so we have Sam Wilson, Vision, and Spider-Man. We also have Asteroid M. So nothing to play on 1. They play Silver Sable. So I wonder if they're playing Bounce. They might be playing Bounce on us. Oh man, they hit our Silk. Ooh, killing. So let's go Shield. Herc. Guessing they're playing one drops. Hawkeye, Psylocke. You could play Batroc, move the shield, Spider-Man. See what happens here. Oh, they put 2 cards there. Scary.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Cable. Turns into a demon. Let's go Hydra Stomper. Spider-Man. Move the shield. Maybe we could get away with doing this. There we go. Sweet. Hydra Stomper goes exactly where I wanted Hydra Stomper to go. And then I think we just play Shield, hope it bounce back. Then we go Vision, Vibranium. If it goes back to Captain America, that'll be crazy. That's what I want to happen. We'll see if it actually does happen. So the move is Spider-Punk. Oh no, goes in the middle. But a move is a move, right? We still take killing. Man Spider. Alright, GG's. GG's. We get 4 out of the 8 we lost in the beginning, right? GG's. Alright, so we have Captain America, Batroc, Ezekiel Sims. So let's put Batroc here. And then we'll go Captain America. Alright, turn 3. We're going to move the shield and put down Ezekiel. See what we get from the raft. We get Infinite, which sucks, but we could do it. We could work with that, right? Let's move the shield. And then let's use Spider-Man and Spider-Man. Let's see what happens here. And do we skip a turn just so we can play Infinite? I think it might be worth it, right? Maybe we're doing a mistake by playing Invisible Woman there. We'll see. Sims moves again. Doom, okay. Turn 5. Only thing we do is move the shield. I think we're gonna go the Infinite route. All right, final turn. I think we move the shield. I think. Let's go Heimdall. And then Infinite. Do they play Infinite too? There's no way that they do. Okay, Dr. Doom. That's totally fine. I think we take this. I think we take this. And then Zeke should move. And then our Infinite. Let's go. GG's. So we lost 8 in the beginning, and we're able to get our 8 back with 2 snaps after. But Ezekiel Sims is pretty clutch. I think this is a very, very good card. Very, very good card.